You are watching CRDN, Civil Rights Daily News. You are watching CRDN, Civil Rights Daily News.
Good evening and welcome. You're watching Civil Rights Daily News. I'm Maliyah Simone. Tonight we are covering the mayoral inauguration of Zohran Mamdani, New York City's first Muslim South Asian mayor. Today at 12:01 a.m., Mamdani was sworn in as the 112th mayor of New York City. The ceremony took place in the decommissioned Old City Hall subway station, a site the mayor selected to highlight the city's transit infrastructure and working class history. Mamdani is the first Muslim and first South Asian to lead the city. He took the oath of office with his hand on two Qurans, a family heirloom, and an 18th century text on loan from the Schomburg Center for Research in Black Culture. New York State Attorney General Letitia Adams administered the oath in the presence of the mayor's wife, Rama Duwaji, and his parents, Mira Nair and Mahmoud Mamdani. The transition to office continued this morning with an inauguration block party held in the Canyon of Heroes. We have reporter Jade Lopez, who is on Broadway with crowds. Let's go ahead and check in with her.
As the calendar turns and a new year begins, we're here in Manhattan near City Hall for the inauguration of Zohran Mamdani, the new mayor of New York City. Today, the community has gathered thousands of New Yorkers to celebrate the 112th inauguration of the mayor. This celebration is like no other, where Mamdani is making history as the first open Muslim mayor of New York City. Back to you in the studio, Maliyah.
Thanks, Jade. We'll be right back with Civil Rights Daily News.
You are watching CRDN, Civil Rights Daily News.
You're watching Civil Rights Daily News. I'm Maliyah Simone. Now we're going to check in with Jade, who's talking to some of the citizens and spectators there at the event. She's asking them some questions about Zohran Mamdani and their support. So let's go ahead and check in back with Jade. Jade?
Okay, can you state your name and tell me why you came out today?
My name is Sid, and I came out because I think this is a really important moment in not just New York history, but American history. And I canvassed for Zohran Mamdani over the summer, and I'm really excited to see what he'll do with New York.
And what are you hoping, like, what policies or anything in particular made you support Mamdani? What do you hope for the future?
Well, I think, I don't know how much of his policies are really hard to pull off. Anything from, like, free buses and freezing the rent is insanely hard, and universal childcare, but I think they're all good things because, like, I think what makes him stand out is that he's a politician who, like, actually wants to work in programs and doesn't, like, I think a big problem with America today is that everyone gets caught up in these like culture wars of like trying to deal with like, you know, there's like trans issue and it feels like there are very few politicians who actually talk about policy, and I think policy is the thing that really matters when it comes to a politician, and I think Zohran is focused on that. I mean, I can't vote, I'm 17, but I think he's a great candidate, and I'm excited to see what he'll do.
And what impact do you think he has on New York City's youth?
I think it's really motivating because New York City is, of course, a very, like, left-wing place, and I'm from a big, like, blue community, and I think it's a lot of the people in my community are really sad after Trump got elected because of all of his, you know, like, anti-abortion and, like, most of just, like, a worry about people's basic health. So I think having a figure like Zohran is really motivating and exciting to young people, and, you know, I think a lot of young people might want to move into politics seeing him in office.
Okay, thank you so much, Sid.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jade. It's great to hear that younger generation getting inspired and talking about politics, especially when it's such a critical time in our history. You've been watching Civil Rights Daily News. We're going to continue our coverage of the inauguration of Zohran Mamdani after this.
You are watching CRDN, Civil Rights Daily News.
Welcome back. You're watching coverage of the mayoral inauguration of Zohran Mamdani on Civil Rights Daily News. I'm Maliyah Simone. Now, following the midnight ceremony held last night, a public inauguration was held at 1 p.m. on the steps of City Hall. This was a public one versus the private one that was held last night. Senator Bernie Sanders administered a speech at that event. We're going to go ahead and listen in now.
To administer the oath of office for Mayor Zohran Mamdani, welcome Senator Bernie Sanders.
Thank you. Mr. Mayor, thank you very much for inviting me to what has been an extraordinarily moving and beautiful afternoon. And I'm here mostly to thank the people of New York City. At a time in our country's history when we are seeing too much hatred, too much divisiveness, and too much injustice, thank you for electing Zohran Mamdani as your mayor. New York, thank you for inspiring our nation. Thank you for giving us, from coast to coast, the hope and the vision that we can create government that works for all, not just the wealthy and the few. At a moment when people in America, and in fact throughout the world, are losing faith in democracy, over 90,000 of you in this city volunteered for Zohran's campaign. You knocked on doors. You shared your dreams and your hopes for the future of this city. And in the process, you took on the Democratic establishment, the Republican establishment, the President of the United States, and some enormously wealthy oligarchs. And you defeated them in the biggest political upset in modern American history. You showed the world the most important lesson that can be learned today, and that is that when working people stand together, when we don't let them divide us up, there is nothing we cannot accomplish. Running a great and winning campaign was extremely difficult, but governing a city of 8 million people with all of its complexities and all of the problems that Zohran is inheriting will be even harder. Zohran needed your help to win the election. Now he will need your help to govern. Grassroots democracy and people participating in the day-to-day struggles of this city will lead to good governance. Please remain involved. You know, all of us have heard how Zohran's opponents have called the agenda that he campaigned on radical, communistic, and absolutely unachievable. Really? That's not what we believe. In the richest country in the history of the world, making sure that people can live in affordable housing is not radical. It is the right and decent thing to do. And in the midst of a massive housing crisis, it is exactly what the people of this city and this country want and need. Providing free and high-quality child care is not radical. Countries all over the world have done it for years. It is what our kids require if they're going to be well prepared for school, and what working parents desperately need. It is, in fact, what every city in America should be doing. Free bus transportation is not radical. It will save workers time and money, protect our environment, and make the city more efficient. And making sure that every family in the city, regardless of income, has access to decent, quality food at an affordable cost is not radical. Good nutrition keeps us healthy, helps prevent chronic illnesses. In the long run, city-sponsored grocery stores will save society money. Lastly, and maybe most importantly, demanding that the wealthy and large corporations start paying their fair share of taxes. As I was saying, demanding that the wealthy and large corporations start paying their fair share of taxes is not radical. It is exactly the right thing to do. Today, while over 60% of our people in New York, people in Vermont, people all over this country are living paycheck to paycheck, we have more income and wealth inequality than we have ever had. While tens of millions struggle to put food on the table, pay for health care, pay for housing, the top 1% have never, ever had it so good. And yet, there are billionaires and large corporations that pay almost nothing in taxes. That has got to end. That will end. The billionaire class in this city and in this country have got to understand that in America, they cannot have it all. That America, our great country, must belong to all of us, not just a few. And that lesson begins today in New York City. Let me thank you all for the hope and inspiration that you are giving people all over this country.
Really inspiring words by Bernie Sanders. You've been watching Civil Rights Daily News. I'm Maliyah Simone. We'll be right back.
You are watching CRDN, Civil Rights Daily News.
Welcome back. You've been watching Civil Rights Daily News. I'm Maliyah Simone, and we're continuing our coverage of the inauguration event for Zohran Mamdani, the new mayor. The event drew a large crowd of supporters and labor leaders who filled the surrounding streets. Our field correspondent Jade Lopez remains at the block party now and spoke with a few more New Yorkers about their expectations for the new administration. Jade?
Can you guys just state your names for me?
I'm Richard Rutkowski.
Yeah, Betsy Kenyon.
And what brought you out today?
We want to see history. We want to see a very young, very different, very inspiring person become the leader of New York City.
He's young, he's new, it's different. Living through different mayors and now having somebody who's making history, how does that make you feel?
It makes me feel like there's change and change is needed. It
feels like there's a whole sort of youthful enthusiasm. And I think for us, that's exciting to see, especially in New York, especially now.
Is there any policy or anything in particular that kind of drew you to Mamdani?
I think the idea that he'll respect the working class is important.
And what hopes do you have for future generations with Mamdani in office?
I don't know that it's him particularly. I think it's more things he can do with other people that will change the tenor of this city. We're standing right near ground zero, and to think that we're electing a Muslim mayor at this time, 25 years later, is a big deal. And
I also think him, again, pulling in youth, making people feel like they matter, I think is incredibly important.
Absolutely. Is there anything else you guys would like to add?
No.
I hope it's a great new year for everyone.
Thank you guys so much. I appreciate it.
It's really great to hear about all the positivity and the hope that the people of New York have for this new administration. We've been covering the mayoral inauguration of Zohran Mamdani. When we get back, we'll discuss some of the policies this new administration hopes to put in place in the coming weeks. For Civil Rights Daily News, I'm Maliyah Simone. We'll be right back.
You are watching CRDN, Civil Rights Daily News.
Welcome back. I'm Maliyah Simone. You've been watching Civil Rights Daily News. We're covering the inauguration of Mayor Mamdani. In his first official act, Mayor Mamdani appointed Mike Flynn as the Commissioner of the Department of Transportation. This appointment aligns with his plan to launch a pilot program for free city bus services within the first few weeks of his office. His administration has also pledged to initiate a rent freeze for the city's 1 million rent-stabilized apartments and to begin the implementation of a universal child care program for children ages 6 to 5 years old. Jade, what's it like there on the street?
Today's gathering is more than just a watch party. It's a reflection of the city itself. Thousands of New Yorkers coming together to mark a moment of a new beginning and hope for our city's future. As New York City begins this new chapter under Mayor Mamdani, the spirit of inclusion, creativity, justice, and diversity is on full display across these streets. The #1 source for propagandalist reporting. For Civil Rights Daily News, I'm Jade Lopez.
Thanks, Jade, for all your work out there. Stay warm. With Civil Rights Daily News, I'm Maliyah Simone. We'll be right back.
You are watching CRDN, Civil Rights Daily News.
Welcome back. You've been watching Civil Rights Daily News and our coverage of the New York City mayoral inauguration. We are about to witness history as Bernie Sanders administers the oath to Zohran Mamdani. Let's go ahead and take a look at this.
And now it is my honor to swear in your new mayor. Please repeat after me. I, Zohran Mamdani,
I, Zohran Mamdani,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of New York,
the Constitution of the State of New York,
and the Charter of the City of New York,
and the Charter of the City of New York,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties
of the office of the Mayor of the City of New York,
of the office of the Mayor of the City of New York,
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Well, there you have it, history being made. When we get back, we'll hear the first speech of Mayor Mamdani to his constituents of New York City. With Civil Rights Daily News, I'm Maliyah Simone.
You are watching CRDN, Civil Rights Daily News.
Welcome back. You've been watching Civil Rights Daily News. I'm Maliyah Simone. We're tuning in now to hear what Mayor Mamdani has to say to the citizens of the greatest city in America.
My fellow New Yorkers, today begins a new era. I stand before you moved by the privilege of taking this sacred oath, humbled by the faith that you have placed in me, and honored to serve as either your 111th or 112th mayor of New York City. But I do not stand alone. I stand alongside you, the tens of thousands of you gathered here in Lower Manhattan, warmed against the January chill by the resurgent flame of hope. I stand alongside countless more New Yorkers watching from cramped kitchens in Flushing and barbershops in East New York, from cell phones propped against the dashboards of parked taxicabs at LaGuardia, from hospitals in Mott Haven and libraries in El Barrio that have too long known only neglect. I stand alongside construction workers in steel-toed boots and halal cart vendors whose knees ache from working all day. I stand alongside neighbors who carry a plate of food to the elderly couple down the hall, those in a rush who still lift strangers' strollers up subway stairs, and every person who makes the choice day after day, even when it feels impossible, to call our city home. I stand alongside over 1 million New Yorkers who voted for this day nearly 2 months ago. And I stand just as resolutely alongside those who did not. I know there are some who view this administration with distrust or disdain, or who see politics as permanently broken. And while only action can change minds, I promise you this: if you are a New Yorker, I am your mayor. Regardless of whether we agree, I will protect you, celebrate with you, mourn alongside you, and never, not for a second, hide from you. I thank the labor and movement leaders here today, the activists and the elected officials who will return to fighting for New Yorkers the second this ceremony concludes, and the performers who have gifted us with their talent. Thank you to Governor Hochul. Thank you as well to Mayor Adams. Dorothy's son, a son of Brownsville who rose from washing dishes to the highest position in our city, for being here as well. He and I have had our share of disagreements, but I will always be touched that he chose me as the mayoral candidate that he would most want to be trapped with on an elevator. Thank you to the two titans who, as an assembly member, I've had the privilege of being represented by in Congress, Nidia Velázquez and our incredible opening speaker, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. You have paved the way for this moment. Thank you to the man whose leadership I seek most to emulate, who I am so grateful to be sworn in by today, Senator Bernie Sanders. Thank you to my teams, from the assembly to the campaign to the transition, and now the team I am so excited to lead from City Hall. Thank you to my parents, Mama and Baba, for raising me, for teaching me how to be in this world, and for having brought me to this city. Thank you to my family, from Kampala to Delhi. And thank you to my wife, Rama. For being my best friend and for always showing me the beauty in everyday things. And most of all, thank you to the people of New York. A moment like this comes rarely. Seldom do we hold such an opportunity to transform and reinvent. Rarer still is it the people themselves whose hands are the ones upon the levers of change. And yet we know that too often in our past, moments of great possibility have been promptly surrendered to small imagination and smaller ambition. What was promised was never pursued. What could have changed remained the same. For the New Yorkers most eager to see our city remade, the weight has only grown heavier. The wait has only grown longer. In writing this address, I have been told that this is the occasion to reset expectations, that I should use this opportunity to encourage the people of New York to ask for little and expect even less. I will do no such thing. The only expectation I seek to reset is that of small expectations. Beginning today, we will govern expansively and audaciously. We may not always succeed, but never will we be accused of lacking the courage to try. To those who insist that the era of big government is over, hear me when I say this. No longer will City Hall hesitate to use its power to improve New Yorkers' lives. For too long, we have turned to the private sector for greatness while accepting mediocrity from those who serve the public. I cannot blame anyone who has come to question the role of government, whose faith in democracy has been eroded by decades of apathy. We will restore that trust by walking a different path. One where government is no longer solely the final recourse for those struggling. One where excellence is no longer the exception. We expect greatness from the cooks wielding 1,000 spices, from those who stride out onto our Broadway stages, and from our starting point guard at Madison Square Garden. Let us demand the same from those who work in government. In a city where the mere names of our streets are associated with the innovation of the industries that call them home, we will make the word City Hall synonymous with both resolve and results. As we embark upon this work, let us advance a new question, a new answer to the question asked of every generation. Who does New York belong to? For much of our history, the response from City Hall has been simple. It belongs only to the wealthy and well-connected, those who never strain to capture the attention of those in power. Working people have reckoned with the consequences. Crowded classrooms and public housing developments where the elevators sit out of orders. Roads littered with potholes and buses that arrive half an hour late, if at all. Wages that do not rise and corporations that rip off consumers and employees alike. And still, there have been brief, fleeting moments where the equation changed. 12 years ago, Bill de Blasio stood where I stand now as he promised to put an end to economic and social inequalities that divided our city into two. In 1990, David Dinkins swore the same oath I swore today, vowing to celebrate the gorgeous mosaic that is New York, where every one of us is deserving of a decent life. And nearly 6 decades before him, Fiorella LaGuardia took office with the goal of building a city that was far greater and more beautiful for the hungry and the poor. Some of these mayors achieved more success than others, but they were unified by a shared belief that New York could belong to more than just a privileged few. It could belong to those who operate our subways and rake our parks, those who feed us biryani and beef patties, picanha and pastrami on rye. And they know that this belief could be made true if only government dared to work hardest for those who work hardest.
There you have it. That speech ended up going on for 27 minutes. We just gave you a short clip there. You're witnessing history here with Civil Rights Daily News as the first Muslim millennial South Asian mayor takes on the biggest role in the city of New York. We'll continue our coverage of this event and more on pretty soon. And we're going to go ahead and check in one more time with Jade Lopez, who's on the street after this commercial break.
You are watching CRDN, Civil Rights Daily News.
Welcome back. You're watching Civil Rights Daily News. Let's check in one more time with Jade to see what the atmosphere is like out there on the streets of New York City.
As you can see behind me, thousands of people are in line to witness history as Zohran Mamdani is inaugurated as the 112th mayor of New York City. It is absolutely freezing outside. People are waiting in line for hours to catch a glimpse of Zohran, his speech, or at least seeing a screen of him being inaugurated. Mamdani is getting sworn in with the Quran, the first ever in history to do so in New York City. The event started at 11, it's currently 1:35, and it ends at 3 o'clock, and there is still thousands of people in line trying to get into the barricade. We just recently spoke to a couple of older people who said that Zohran is making history as a super young Muslim mayor, something that they've never seen before, something they thought never would happen. We have kids, we have people from all ages and all backgrounds coming together to witness history in New York City. Oh yeah, and we also saw Bernie Sanders, who is joining Mamdani on stage. Bernie Sanders, a well-known socialist who ran for president multiple times, is supporting Mamdani, as well as a lot of other politicians in the community itself. It's just amazing to witness history in New York City. For Civil Rights Daily News, I'm Jade Lopez. Back to you in the studio, Maliyah. I hope you're staying warm.
Thanks, Jade. I hope you're staying warm too. It is such a cold day out there, so make sure you get warm in a car or in a coffee shop. Well, we're going to continue our coverage on this event and more on our website, as well as CRDN's social media accounts on TikTok, YouTube, and on Instagram. I'm Maliyah Simone. Thank you for watching Civil Rights Daily News, your #1 source for propagandalist reporting. Stay warm. Good night.
You are watching CRDN, Civil Rights Daily News. You are watching CRDN, Civil Rights Daily News.